Before we dive into this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get into it. My name is Lauren, and I'm 35 years old. What I'm about to share isn't easy, and I know it might make me sound like the villain in someone else's story. But in many ways, that moment wasn't the beginning of the end. It was just the first time I dared to speak the truth out loud. But before you judge, I need you to understand the full picture. At least the kids occasionally said thank you. Jacob would walk through the door after work like his day was done, while mine was still going full speed. Dinner, homework, packing lunch, it all fell on me. And the part that wore me down the most, I always had to ask him for help. He never just saw me struggling and stepped in. It was like managing a third child. I convinced myself all marriages looked like this after kids. Jacob never noticed. He never asked if I was happy, never wondered if I was enjoying anything. Just a regular chaotic evening. Max had lost a tooth. Lily was crying over a forgotten school project, and Jacob got home late again. I was folding laundry when he came in and finally asked if everything was okay. He said I felt distant, especially when we were intimate. His concern was genuine, and for some reason, that made me snap. Because I wasn't complaining, he assumed everything was fine. But Jacob gently pushed me away. He said he wasn't ready. After all those years of being available for him whenever he wanted, suddenly I was the one being denied. How I felt invisible, overwhelmed, taken for granted. And when it was his turn, Jacob said something that stopped me cold. I hadn't faked love each, just prioritized our family. But he couldn't hear that. He couldn't unsee the lie he believed I'd told him. He said, I found out my wife has been pretending to enjoy being with me for years. I don't know what's real anymore. I felt punished for telling the truth. So I retaliated, not directly, but in petty ways. I criticized how he loaded the dishwasher, corrected him in front of the kids, gave short answers when he tried to connect. And when Lily asked if I was happy for them, I smiled and said yes, even though I felt like I was choking. My relationship with the kids is strained. They prefer being at Jacob's house, where there's calm and comfort. The day Max told me he wanted to live with his dad full-time, because things were more peaceful there, that was the final blow. I thought he was bluffing. I reminded him we had 2 kids, a home, a life, because if Jacob found real love with someone else, it means what we had wasn't truly working. We were both pretending. He just didn't realize it until I said it out loud. Everything I'd done for our family had been real. Just because I wasn't eager every night didn't mean I didn't care. But when the hard years hit, when you're wiping tears, packing lunches, juggling bills, that's when it matters most. I was there for all of it. And now I'm the ex-wife everyone thinks ruined a perfect marriage. She reaps the benefits of the lessons I helped them learn. And here I am, alone, still paying the price for my honesty. Was he really going to throw it all away over one painful truth? That he was overreacting? I played the reasonable one. But in the divorce, his lawyer painted me like I'd deceived him for years. I'd rather struggle than keep faking a smile for someone who never really saw me. I didn't destroy our family by telling the truth. I ended the performance. I stopped the cycle. Meanwhile, I felt like I'd just kept the boat from sinking. I even suggested couples therapy, but not in a supportive way, more like, you need help. On paper, I was the perfect wife. Every time I went along with intimacy I didn't want, another crack formed. I started to dread it, not because I didn't love Jacob, but because it felt fake, like we were pretending to be close when we were miles apart in our own bed. Over the years, intimacy became just another item on my checklist, not because I didn't love him, or so I thought, but because it always happened on his terms. But in reality, I was slowly disconnecting from myself, that I'd only done it because I thought it was my duty, that I wasn't feeling it, not emotionally, not physically. I'd already stalked her online. She was everything. I wasn't vibrant, confident, adored by friends. She looked like someone who never had to fake anything. I said it flatly, like I was reporting the weather. I'd lie there thinking about the grocery list or wondering if I'd signed Max's permission slip. I was just checking another box. When I said it had been going on for years, he flinched. I tried to explain how I'd felt more like a maid than a wife, how I needed emotional connection, not just physical routine. He didn't yell. He didn't argue. He was just gone. He became a quiet roommate, helpful around the house but emotionally unreachable. And at first I felt relieved. No more pressure to perform. But then I started to feel rejected. I told him I thought I was being selfless, not deceptive. I thought I was preserving our marriage, not betraying it. I'd spend the day juggling tantrums, laundry, broken appliances, and emotional meltdowns. And then he'd decrawl into bed like I had done tea, just given everything I had to everyone else, and I never said no, because that's what I thought a good wife did. I took care of everything. School forms, birthday parties, doctor appointments, meal planning, grocery shopping, managing the kids' schedules, calling his mom on her birthday. I was the CEO of our home, but without the recognition, the paycheck, or the days off. 4 years ago, I had a conversation with my husband, Jacob, that destroyed our marriage. Jacob and I had been together since college, married for 14 years. Our kids, Lily and Max, were 12 and 7 at the time. Taking care of them was easier than managing Jacob. But where things got truly complicated was in the bedroom. I thought I was being noble, sacrificing my comfort for the sake of our marriage. I thought I was protecting our family's stability. Somewhere along the way, probably after Lily was born, and definitely by the time Max came, I stopped feeling like a woman and started feeling like a role: mom, wife, manager. But resentment doesn't need a voice to grow, it just needs repetition. Then came that Tuesday night in March. I told him I hadn't wanted to be intimate for at least 3 years, maybe longer. The silence that followed was suffocating. Jacob looked like I'd punched him, but all he heard was that I had lied to him. He moved to the guest room that night, and the weeks that followed were like living with a ghost. About 3 weeks later, the kids were at sleepovers, and for the first time in years, I tried to initiate something, thinking maybe we could start over now that everything was in the open. It crushed me. When we finally went to therapy, I came armed with a list of grievances. I laid it all out. I tried to explain there's a difference between pretending and sacrificing. After months of therapy, Jacob said he wanted a break, but he didn't back down. He said he needed to know if we ever had something real or if I'd just been playing a part. I got angry. When he left, I told people he was having a midlife crisis. 2.5 years after the divorce, our daughter Lily showed me Jacob's engagement ring for his new. Her name is Rachel. The kids loved her. They were thrilled about the wedding. Dating hasn't worked for me. I downsized into a cramped apartment. My finances are tight. And yet, through all of this, I still don't regret telling the truth. Rachel gets the improved Jacob, the one I tried to build. Everyone thinks their love is special during the honeymoon phase. But here's the thing, I'd rather be alone and honest than together and pretending. Maybe I'm the only one who suffered for it, but at least I'm not lying anymore. And for me, that matters more than anything.